Good morning. I am making this video for you quickly on Zoom because I noticed that the solar telescope is up on Slooh. So I'm going to show you how to use the solar telescope. And I'm going to show it to you outside of the Quest, but then I'll also go into the Quest and show you where I think you can put in your images. For the Quest, for the solar telescope, for the first Quest that you have, you need to get 2 images of the sun on 2 different days. And so I'm going to show you that by sharing my screen. Hopefully I can share the screen here. And this is what Slooh looks like when you come into Slooh. Hopefully you're seeing my screen here. Scroll down until you get to, oh, here, sorry, scroll down too far, where it says observatories. Notice Canary Islands. That's where the solar telescope is. Go to Canary, it says Canary 1 offline, but we're on Canary 5. Notice over here on the right, it is Canary 5 solar telescope. Click that, and here we are. This is the solar telescope. Notice over in the chat room here, there's often someone named Jenny who is up and available for asking questions. I'm going to type in something here. Hi, Jenny. I am showing the solar scope to my classes right now. So we'll see if she responds there. She's usually up and around for much of the time. Notice we have a countdown here. This is countdown to sunset. The solar telescope will stay open at least until most of the time, a couple of hours before sunset. It usually doesn't go all the way to sunset. But one of the things you can see here is we have a little inset. This is the dome camera. If you go down here to all sky camera, you can open up that and see what's happening in the sky over the dome. Here in this little inset, you can see what's happening in there. And I'm not exactly sure what more videos. Oh, that's professional development videos from Slooh. Okay. What's happening in here is this is actually also going out on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and see it. But here we have an image. And if I want to take a picture of this image, I click on this little camera insert here. And there is my image. And on this image, I can see some bright spots and some dark spots. I can see some flaring taking place. So there's quite a lot that's happening. If I click on the X there, and I can wait for a while to click on that. Again, notice it seems to be wobbling just a little bit. This is a live image of the sun. So this would be my image for day 1. After a while, Jenny hasn't responded here yet. After a while, the image will shift up and shift down so that you'll see the entire sun over the course of time. It'll sort of stay static for a while in each of these. And then at other times, I'm sorry, they don't have set times for these because it's always live and dynamic. They will put something essentially in front of the sun so that you can see the prominences on the sides. That's not happening right now, but that's something that happens. So I could check back, say, in an hour or 2 hours and see different things. I would also notice, if I carefully watched the images, that several of the features will have shifted just a bit. It does take about 30 days, more or less, to go around the sun. So they're not going to shift too much in an hour, but they would do a little bit along the way. So this is how you would take images of the sun using the camera here. If I were to go back to the main page, clicking here, I could go then to our dynamic star. I've already done this quest, so it's got a little gold badge there. All of this is actually explained in the Tune In Live portion of the quest, which is the beginning of your lab. So you can read these, go to Canary 5 telescope, watch the live video feed, press the camera icon to snap an image. And now your solar images will be available for the next step. So answer these questions. Yes, I'm available to the next step. Scroll down, again, read the information that's there about the sun. And this is the image that I'd collected the last time that's there. If you haven't collected your image, or if you haven't put your image in yet, this will be an empty box and it will tell you to go find an image. And then you can click on the image that you pick, because you may have clicked more than one solar image, and then it will insert it in here. Then you can answer this question and then go on to the next day, where, again, a little more reading, go to Canary 5 again, 24 hours later, and pick another one. And as you can see here, this is where the next day I picked one where they have the disk covered, and we have a very good prominence showing up there. And again, the same thing would happen. If there wasn't an image in here already, it would give me a find image. Then it would take me to the images that I had already clicked on, that I had already saved from the solar telescope. And so you could put them both in there together. My solar images, again, going out back to the main page that I just clicked on a moment ago, are here in my photo roll. So these are the ones that I clicked. I clicked on this one a little bit earlier. Notice we're almost getting all the way up to the top on that one. And my mouse isn't working all that well. These two are the ones I just clicked. Notice that it's further down. These features are up, and we see a little bit more of the southern hemisphere of the sun. So I could use any one of these three for my observation for the day. And if I wanted to check in the box here, see, this is the same chat box here on the right that is up during the solar telescope stuff as well. Jenny hasn't responded yet. Go back to Canary Islands, go back to 5, and here we are. And it looks like it may have moved down just a smidge. Again, click on that icon there, and that brings me up to another image. You don't need to go overboard on the images. You don't need to collect 10,000 of them or anything like that, unless you're really into the solar telescope and solar imaging. Feel free, it doesn't hurt anything to take more than that. But again, now that I go out back to the main page, scroll down to my photo roll, it should show 4 images there. If I decide I have sort of too many, I don't want to have that many that are there, I can always click on those and delete one of the images. So now I have 3. And you can do that whenever you get any images that aren't really up to snuff, like all of these images here. This one I got last night, that's rather dramatic, shows a lot of problems going on with the telescope at the time. Movements and such, as it's locking on, it's also taking a picture, so it's scattering the light. We call that Slooh art. So I keep those, but there's no real reason to. So I hope that helps explain the solar telescope. I'm going to stop the sharing here. So give that a try. Again, 2 separate days. Doesn't have to be 24 hours apart. You can do it 2 days later, 3 days later. One thing to keep in mind, I'm looking at Slooh a lot. I know when the telescopes are up or not. If the telescopes are consistently not available, and I know they're consistently not available, then I'm not going to hold you to a deadline that you can't possibly meet. I'm not that guy. So don't stress, don't worry about that. On the other hand, because I am on the site every day, if I know the telescope has been available for the last 2 weeks, at least 5 days out of 12, I'm not going to take as an excuse you're coming in on the last day when things are due and it's cloudy that day and you can't get the images because you've had at least 2 weeks for every lab in which to do them. That doesn't mean that all 14 days of those 2 weeks will have clear skies for you to get the images. You need to commit to actually doing this and do it more than just the night before. So beware of that. In terms of weather, in terms of technical issues with the telescopes, in terms of those kinds of problems getting in the way, I know all about Slooh. So if I need to adjust deadlines for that, that's fine. Also, I don't care about a day or two here and there. I really don't. So if it says it's due on February 4th and you get it to me on the 5th or the 6th or the 7th, I don't care. You don't need to tell me you're going to do it that, because I'm probably not going to get around to grading it until around the 8th or the 9th anyway. I'll grade it sometime within a week after it's turned in, but I'm not going to grade it the same day. I'm not going to grade it the next day. So as long as it's in there, by the time I grade it, you're good, I'm good, we're all good. The sun is shining. So hopefully that makes sense to you as well. But I'm rushing a little bit because I want to get this up so that you can see this while the solar telescope is going. So I will have another video now that we have the solar telescope thing that shows you the nightly things to do. And that'll come up later this afternoon. Hopefully the canary scopes will be on this afternoon so I can demonstrate those. Otherwise it'll be this evening when the chili scopes come on. See you then.